Hi and welcome to this Yin flow class inspired by the slow, grounded, nourished and comfort-seeking energies of Taurus. So whether you are here for Taurus season or you just want to channel these energies into your day or into your life, you are at the right place. We are going to have some bolster magic in this class, so please get your bolster or something that can work in a similar way, as we will be using it for every single position we get into. So because this is a yin flow, we're not going to hold the poses for as long as we would normally in a yin class. We will shift a little bit faster in between, but we'll still have the time we need to settle in to each pose. So when you are ready, get yourself set up on your mat with your bolster. And we are starting the class with a heart opener. So I like to shake my bolster so that it's a little bit firmer on one side than the other, so I can be on a little bit of an angle. The bolster comes up close to my hip, feet in butterfly, and then just lay down. Wiggle your shoulder blades together here and open the arms out. Allow the body to just melt down into the ground and then spill out on either side of the center line, on either side of your bolster. And then close the eyes. If you haven't already, start to tune inwards. Taking deeper breaths, deep and slow. Opening up the heart space, softening the body. If your mind starts to wander, coming back to the breath, so that you can stay as present as possible with your practice, taking a couple more deep breaths here. And then opening your eyes, supporting yourself up into a seated position. Close the knees. Shift sideways on your mat. We're going to come into a side bend, so stretch out your left leg long. Place your bolster on top of that leg. The right leg comes in, and then we are reaching the right arm up and overhead for a side bend. If you have the space, you can clasp the hands. Place your head into your left hand and then open the right elbow up towards the sky. Again, feel free to close the eyes. Taking deep breaths, grounding your right hip down and extending your right elbow up. Lots of space between your hip and your armpit, between your knee and your elbow. And then start to reach your right arm up to the sky. Make a big circle with that arm. Place it behind your hip. Roll the bolster off your left leg for a moment. As you sweep the left arm overhead, find a flash dance. lifting the hips up, lean back into a back bend. And then let the left arm open out to the side, stretching across the chest. And lowering the hips to the mat. As you sit back down, move your bolster over to the right side. We're going to come into another side bend, another variation of a side bend. So the bolster stays next to your hip. Slide your right arm forwards, drop the shoulder and the cheek to the floor. I like to also stretch my bottom leg out here. Reach the left fingertips up and overhead. And maybe a little bit behind. So feel as if you're rolling a little bit more towards the back than closing in towards the front. Just to keep the chest nice and open as well here. Place your legs in the position that feels right for you. And the bolster somewhere in your waist or underneath your rib cage. And then we are just going to again surrender to gravity. Let your body melt into the ground and spill out on either side of the bolster. You might notice a sensation of space between your ribs being created here. Taking a couple of more breaths here. And then reach the left arm to the sky, again making a big circle there. Let the weight of the arm pull you up. Push your right elbow into the floor. Coming up to sit, we're going to go to the other side. Stretch your right leg long, hug your left leg in. Place your bolster on that leg and find your variation of this side bend, either with your arms straight or hands clasped. Making sure that our chest is open, so we're not closing in to the front. Lifting the left elbow to the sky. Long and steady breaths. And then reach the left arm up to the sky. Make a big circle here as you stretch. Place your hand behind. Move the bolster off your leg. Come into your flush stance. Lift the hips. Push them forward as the shoulders lean back. Open up the right arm to the side. Stretch the chest. And then come down to a seated position. We are moving the bolster to the other side for our side bend. Across the mat, slide your left arm forward, lay down over the bolster. So you might need to wiggle your way there to make sure that you find the right position that works for you. The right hand comes overhead, and then maybe walk the fingertips a little behind your head, so towards the back of the mat. And then you can close the eyes. Make sure you are in a space where you don't have to hold any tension. You can just let go. Just resting over the bolster. Sending your breath into your rib cage, noticing the expansion with the inhale, how it's a little bit more space being created there. And then exhale to soften, releasing some of the tension. And let's start to reach the right arm up to the sky. Let it help you come up. Push your left elbow into the floor. Sitting up. Cross the right leg in front of the left leg for square pose. Or if your hips are more mobile, you can put that leg on top. So just trying to align the ankles with the knees here. We are gonna twist to our left side. This is what the bolster is. It might come in handy. And then fold over. So we're folding on the diagonal as it's still a forward fold, just more towards the left side. And then dropping the head down. Closing down the eyes, tuning your attention inwards. Letting that right knee slowly soften down, one breath at a time. And we're going to move this stretch into the center. You can get your bolster with you or leave it where it is. Come into the middle, folding forwards here. And then coming up again, you can bring your bolster with you or leave it, but we're going to go to the other side. So twisting towards the right, leaning over that right knee, finding a fold. Dropping the left hip down into the ground. This is also a bit of a side stretch here. Getting nice and deep into our hips. Make sure that you're not holding your breath when it gets challenging. Try to counter the uncomfortability with a deep, slow breath. It's going to signal to your brain, which again signals to your body that you are in a safe place, even though it might not feel like it. And then start to come up. Ooh. Okay, lean back a little bit. Hard to move the legs, but we're going to come into this mermaid position here with the legs. The bolster is going to stay on the right side, but this time it's going to go the long way. We're going to come into a twist. So turn your chest towards the bolster. We're going to just lay down, belly to bolster, chest to bolster. Now here, if it's too much, look towards your left shoulder here. If it feels okay, turn your head all the way to the back, to the right, and then rest your head. So if the bolster feels far away, you can use your hands underneath to bring the bolster closer to you. And then just finding this very gentle twist. And take your last couple of deep breaths here. And then coming up nice and slow. Keep the bolster on your right side as you cross the left leg either in front, trying to cross the shins more than the ankles, aligning the feet with the knees. Maybe you are stacking for your fire log. And then get your bolster with you. We are going on the diagonal towards the right side for our forward fold. Encouraging the left knee to drop down towards the floor, and to be able to do that, we have to release in and around the left hip. So focus less on the knee dropping down and more of the hip letting go. That will, by default, allow the knee to drop a little bit. Tuning into that left hip, sending it calm breaths, signaling that it is okay to release. And then coming up, we're moving to the middle with or without your bolster, forward fold in center. And then coming up, moving over to the left, I'm gonna grab my bolster for this one. Rotating to the left and dropping forwards. 2 more deep breaths here. And then coming up from there, lean into your hands. If your legs are stuck like mine, take your time to come out and then become a mermaid here. The legs are in this sort of angled position, and then your bolster should be straight out from your hip. Rotate your chest to the bolster and then start to lay down. Maybe your head can look all the way over to the left as you relax the head down on the bolster. And just let your torso drop here. This is a very gentle and subtle stretch, possibly. So just enjoy the restorative part of this. Take another deep breath in. Long breath out. And then start to come up and out of your twist. Bring your legs towards the bolster. We're going to come into a back bend. So bring your bolster with you so that make sure you can reach it with your hands. We're going to lay down on our backs. Lift the hips up, slide the bolster underneath our sacrum. So make sure it is right underneath that widest part of your hip, a little bit closer to the glutes, not so much up into your lower back. You might stay here with your knees bent, or if you can, stretch your legs, stretch your arms, and then once again, melting the body on either side of the bolster, allowing the support of the bolster to give you the stretch and the release that we are seeking. Long and full belly breaths. Take your last couple of breaths. And then bending your knees. Bring the head, so keep your hips on the bolster, but bring your hands down by your side. Maybe shuffle your shoulder blades a little bit closer together. And then send your legs up to the sky for a inversion. So we're just gonna stay here and let the blood circulation reverse a little bit. If you can't have your knees straight, or if that feels very strained for your hip flexors, bend your knees and bring them closer to your chest. Otherwise, if you're able to stack your feet right above the hip joint, just keep your feet soft and allow the weight of the legs to draw the femur into your hip socket. So we're just gonna land the femur down into the hips. Allow your legs to feel really nice and heavy. You might feel your toes getting a bit tingly. For me, that feels really nice because it takes some of that compression and pressure out of the feet that is working all day long, especially if you're on your legs moving around a lot. And then start to bend the knees, bring them in towards your chest. Keep the hips on the bolster so that you can allow your lower back to get an extra rounded curve here. Grab the soles of your feet, find your happy baby. So hips might be slightly tilted off the bolster here, which is fine, but it's still getting that support to round the lower back. Draw the knees down into your armpits or down into the floor. If you want, you can stretch one leg and the other leg, maybe both legs. Just move around here a little bit. And then bring the feet back down to the floor. Lift the hips off the bolster and move it from underneath you. Now you can put your bolster under your knees if that's what you prefer. But a really nice way to use the bolster to ground the hips is to put it on top of the hips. So this is our Shavasana with the bolster on top of the hips. So find your normal Shavasana position. Let the weight of the bolster sort of push your hips, or put weight on your hips to ground them down a little bit more. And then allow your full body to sink down into the floor for a few moments. Take one last full breath in and long breath out. Start to move into your fingers and your toes, ankles and wrists. Now clasp the hands, stretch them over your head, arch your spine, and then bend the knees. Just push the bolster out of the way. Hug your knees to your chest, move them around a little bit, massaging the lower back into the floor. And then finding your own way up to a seated position. Let's close the eyes, rest the hands on the knees, just allowing this slow and grounded practice to land in the body before we move out into our day. Notice the groundedness of the hips, and the lightness of the head as it reaches up towards the sky, creating length and space in the torso. And then placing your hands at your heart center, bowing the head down to the fingertips in gratitude to ourselves, to the practice, and to each other. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed this slow-paced, grounding yin flow, and that you can move out into your day feeling nourished and stable, just like the energies of Taurus would love us to feel. Come back for the next season or the next zodiac sign, or have a look at my other zodiac videos to channel some of these other energies into your day. I will see you in my next class. Thank you very much.